The one word that I would use to describe Joan Schaeffer, no pun intended, committed.
Selfless.
Principled.
Energy. Joan has this quiet passion, this energy that is contagious. It fills you. It makes you feel good just to be around her.
What is one word that I can use to describe Joan? Mensch.
And elegant. All these are words that can be used to describe Joan, but she's so much more.
Joan's been in Miami working with so many different organizations for, I don't know, 25, 30 years at least. And I think it's part of who she is. She has a tremendous value system. She understands the big picture. She knows what needs to be done and how an individual can make a difference in a community.
I've known Joan for 20 years. So I've known her, actually, she was one of the founders of SAVE. She was the secretary of the board for many, many years. She was involved in Health Crisis Network, Dade Human Rights Foundation, YES Institute. I could go on and on.
I've known Joan as long as I can remember. She was like the first lesbian I knew, I think, in real life. I've seen Joan's work at Temple Israel, with Save Dade, with DHRF, and she has consistently been a voice of integrity. She's consistently been a voice of reason, and she's never hysterical. She's never over the top. She's very calm, cool, and collected, but very committed and very together and very brave.
Joan has been a board member of Miami Behavioral since 1982. She has served as president of the board or chairperson of the board twice for 2-year terms from 1998 to 2002. When you talk about changing the board and impacting upon Miami Behavioral Health Center, you know, you picture Joan at that chair. She goes to the meetings, she attends, and she also is very, very involved.
Joan has had an extraordinary impact on Temple Israel. And over the last 10 years, she's served in many, many different leadership positions. Now she's Vice President for Religious Affairs. She's been very active in our social justice work, and she's a calming influence whatever she does. In addition to that, she's had a very important role. About 10 years ago, she helped found a group within the synagogue for lesbian and gay Jews. There had not previously been an organization or a spiritual home in Dade County for lesbian and gay Jews.
Joan inspires me from the very beginning. I met her like 11 years ago, and at that time I was newly arrived at YES Institute. It was a community meeting. I was a scared mother. I have a gay kid, and I really didn't know much what to do. And she came and gave me a big hug, and I felt embraced and accepted by her. And that meant a lot to me at that time.
She doesn't just attend a board meeting and then for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, she's not involved. She is involved whenever you need her, and she also picks up the phone and calls.
Joan is fabulous. She's been on the TIGERTAIL board for 3 years now. Couldn't ask for a better person. She's someone who always has her hand up and volunteers, follows through, works on committees. Everything that you need to have her do, she does fully. Couldn't ask for a better person.
I find it incredible that Joan has been involved and passionate for so long, and she hasn't gotten bored and she hasn't gotten over it. And I think it's really impactful that she came out when she did. I think that Joan has made the lives of many people in this room measurably better, whether they know it or not. I know, made my path easier.
From the very beginning, Joan made a huge impact on YES Institute, formerly known as Project YES. Martha Fugate and Connie Barden, the founders of YES, always like to tell this story. Joan was the first YES when they were trying to get YES off the ground.
I think Joan deserves this recognition because for 20 years, she has been consistently giving in all different kinds of ways, from money to time to ideas to participation in every aspect of her community. And I think this is the first time I know of that we're participating in something where we're recognizing and giving her something back.
Joan, I know how embarrassed you are this evening about all the fuss over you, but you are so deserving of this honor. Thank you.
Mazel tov, Joan. This is so well-deserved. Congratulations.
Joan, all of us are so fortunate to have you here in Miami. Oh boy, I don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you for everything that you've brought to Miami, and thank you again and again and again. You're the best. We love you.
I'm very, very honored and very, very pleased that I get this opportunity to express my feelings and my sincere wishes of congratulations, Joan. You definitely, definitely deserve this honor, and I'm sorry that I'm missing your dinner this evening, so take my personal congratulations and thank you for all you've done for us.
Joan, what can I tell you? The staff, the board, the volunteers, everybody at YES Institute loves you. I'm sorry I'm not here tonight, but I'm out of the country, but we love you. We have a great debt of gratitude to you. You were there in the very beginning. And most importantly, Joan, the youth that we serve, thank you, including my son. We love you.
Joan, congratulations. It's very, very, very well deserved. Thank you so much for everything you have done for all of us for over 20 years that I know of, and I'm sure much, much more. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you again so much.
And now, our 2008 recipient of the Eddie McIntyre Community Service Award, Joan Schaeffer.
I am honored to receive this award, and even more honored to receive it after it has been named for our friend Eddie McIntyre. My service to the community has been a long and bumpy ride. As most of you know, I arrived in Miami just a few months before Anita Bryant started her March of Hate. I was working for Miami-Dade County at the time, going about my business, and suddenly I found myself becoming an activist. Yes, it had something to do with the fact that I was gay, but it also had a lot to do with the fact that I knew it was unjust to discriminate against anyone. I have been most active in our outreach to the religious community, enlisting the support of local clergy of all faiths under the banner of Dade Action PAC and later SAVE. One of the things that is especially nice about getting older is looking back to see that it really is possible to make changes in the world. We have certainly come a long way, as evidenced by the freedoms we now enjoy. We worked hard to find a number of supportive clergy and encourage them to be more open and public about their support. As for my personal goal of finding a mainstream synagogue that would welcome me, I am now, of all things, the Vice President for Religious Affairs at Temple Israel of Greater Miami. I no longer feel a need to pray at a gay church or synagogue, although I know there is still a need for them to exist. And of course, both Miami Beach and Miami-Dade counties have adopted human rights ordinances which ban discrimination based on sexual orientation. There were many, many enjoyable experiences along the way since my early days of activism. One thing for sure is that we had really great parties, most of which, like this one, were fundraisers. And the greatest part was participating with our supportive and friendly community. I met so many wonderful people through the years. Unfortunately, many of them are no longer with us, but even in relation to the HIV epidemic, we have come a long way. I know many people are looking down at us tonight with smiles. I think the most important thing we can do now is to support our youth to live productive, enjoyable, and safe lives. I encourage you to be open and honest about who you are and to support the organizations which have been created to empower LGBT youth. I welcome Luigi Ferrer home, and I congratulate him on his appointment as Executive Director of Pride Lines. I also welcome Rachel Sotilli as the Executive Director of the YES Institute. I acknowledge the Children's Trust for having the courage and good sense to support programs which target LGBT youth. There is another major change that I have been able to see in my years of community service, the creation of a publicly funded alliance for LGBT youth would have been laughable a few years ago. I thank my friends and family, many of whom are here tonight, for always being supportive of my goals, both financially and morally. I acknowledge Miami Behavioral Health Center and TIGERTAIL Productions for giving me a prominent seat at their table. This is a very special night for me, and I thank you all for sharing in it.